Hi there and welcome to Squid Gaming. Now, as you can probably hear from my nasally chatter, I've been a bit ill recently, so I spent a lot of my time on my sofa playing Life is Strange. Now, I know it's unlike me to be late to the party, but I'm late to the party again and I've now finally completed it. So I wanted to talk through all the big choices I made. This will be extremely spoilerific, so if you haven't finished it or played it and you want to, you should probably stop watching this video because I'm about to spoil a lot of stuff, you know. Squirrels doing something funky outside my window. So I would love to know what everyone else chose as well. So in the comments, if you want to just put like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm not sure how many choices there are, but then just what you chose, and then maybe at the end a little summary. That's right, I'm setting you homework, children. So the first one is whether you report Nathan or not to Principal Wells. Is that his name, Wells? I did report Nathan because bro had a gun and tried to shoot my best mate, so yeah, I'm gonna report him. Obviously, it's one of those kind of cliche things where it doesn't work out because he doesn't believe you, so it's really frustrating, but yeah, I reported him because I'm a straight up citizen. It says I made fun of her, so let me explain this. So I played it through, the episode 1 by myself, and then my friend played it through, and I ended up carrying on through her save file to finish it. But we made all the same choices apart from this one. So I didn't make this decision. I wouldn't have made fun of Victoria, but my friend did. So what actually happened is I didn't make fun of her just because I am such a sweet, kind soul. I just felt really bad making fun of her when she was covered in paint. Funnily enough, the fact that I did make fun of her in this playthrough meant way down the line, she didn't believe me when it comes to when it gets to the nitty gritty, and she would have died. But she didn't believe me because I was mean to her, so she lives. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Be mean to people and maybe you'll save their life. I took a photo of David harassing Kate, something which I feel very bad about. So I feel like I should have intervened, but I was trying to think what would I do in that situation, and to be honest, I would be too much of a wimp to get involved. And considering, you know, Max is the more quiet type, it seems, I got the claw, it seems to make more sense that she would take a picture and then have the evidence that she would use later. But obviously in retrospect, because spoiler alert, Kate dies in my playthrough, I felt really bad that I didn't intervene and just let her get bullied by David. So yeah, I definitely felt bad about that. So I take the blame for Chloe because that's what friends are for. I think in real life, would I? Yeah, probably. Be like, sorry, yeah, it's my weed, and I take it and I run with it. Skip off into my drug-induced happiness. Okay, so I told Kate to wait for more proof, which again, I feel bad about. I think I should have just said to her, go to the police. This is f***ed up what you're going through at the moment. You've been drugged. But in my head, I was thinking, she doesn't have enough evidence, and like the way that I said to the principal that Nathan had a gun and he didn't believe me, they wouldn't believe her, so let's gather more evidence and then see how that turned out. I answered Kate's call because I'm a good friend, yes. Chloe got pissy at me, but for God's sake, I do have other friends, Chloe. You're not the light of my life. So I answered her call. I didn't try and shoot Frank because that seemed a bit harsh. Like, I know he was being very threatening and he has a knife, I do believe. So in retrospect, maybe you would go to drastic measures, but I don't think Max is the kind of person just to shoot someone dead right there and then, and the implications of murder and the life sentence. I mean, no one wants to go down that road. And I'm glad I didn't, because in the end, I actually quite liked, what's his name? Frank. This is something I feel huge waves of regret for. I didn't save Kate, and that made me so sad. I was gutted. I just was picking the wrong options. I did some stuff that she liked, you know, I answered her call, and some of the things I said in the choices made her think, I was like, oh yeah, she's not gonna jump. And then one of the things, it was something along the lines of, how am I gonna get through this? And I said, something along the lines of like, it's happened to other people before. She took what I said and was like, well, I'm gonna go splat, because she threw herself off the building. So that was horrific. So that was hugely guilt-inducing, because it's like, I messed up and now she's dead for the entire game and I feel awful about it. So yeah, that's hard hitting. So I blame Nathan, which hindsight is a wonderful thing, because turns out, should have been blaming Mr. Jefferson with his sexy glasses. So yeah, I blame Nathan, which got him expelled. So I'm guessing if you blame David or Mr. Jefferson, he doesn't get expelled and he's hanging around. Like, does the story, I haven't actually looked into what changes with the story then, because I believe he only gets expelled if you blame him. So that's interesting. I stole the money. I stole it from the handicapped fund. Yeah, I'm not proud of that. I just kind of thought, let's get him off our back this crazy drug dealer. You know, he's probably going to come back and threaten us with a knife or a gun, so let's get him off our back. We'll worry about paying the handicap fund later down the line. But funny enough, the game doesn't actually make you feel that bad for it. Like, you see one sign which is like the handicapped building work has been put on delay because obviously they don't have any funding anymore, and Max feels really bad about it. But it's like a split moment. They could make you feel really bad about that, but they don't actually. I didn't feel that guilty for it, so you kiss Chloe. I kissed Chloe. Yeah, I think there was definitely a spark between them that I was picking up, maybe a little bit more than friends. So yeah, it's like, hell yeah, I'm going in for the mwah. But then she rejected me. You know, she kind of pulls away. It's like, what? Come back here. You sided with Chloe. Siding with Chloe, Zoe, whatever. It was the obvious thing to do in the sense that you were building a relationship with Chloe. She's your best mate. I'm not gonna suddenly turn around and be like, actually, this guy we both hate, yeah, he's right. But funnily enough, I guess the game expects you to side with Chloe. I mean, you naturally are more inclined to do that. But I feel like siding with her actually creates the worst outcome, because then David gets kicked out and the family gets broken up, and that's really horrible. I felt really guilty about that. So as much as I wouldn't want to make Chloe upset by siding with David, I felt really awful for breaking up their family. So I think if I did it again, I would side with David, because as you find out by the end of the game, he's actually a nice guy, you know. He's all right. Of course I kept Frank's dog from harm. Jesus! I mean, I usually, when I play games like, especially with this where you can rewind it, I see what each one does, and then when they throw it into the bloody road, it's like, ah, ow! Not that the dog went, ow! Can you imagine if a dog made that noise? Ow! But yeah, no way! Of course I didn't let it get hurt. If you're only the 8% that let it get hurt, then shame on you! I refused Chloe's request. This one was obviously a very deep, difficult part of the game. It gets very, very sad. I mean, this game plays with your emotions. It's like, yeah, you saved her dad, you fixed everything, and then you're like, it's only halfway through the game. This can't be it. And then you enter this parallel world where actually it's really grim and sad, and it's like, oh God, what have I done? So I refused her request just because that's a horrible choice to make, and I just didn't feel like Max really should be making that choice, considering she's been doing all the meddling around with everything. I don't really think it's her choice to be like, okay, and yeah, like, no, I just, for me personally, I felt like she should say no in that circumstance. I did let Warren beat up Nathan. Hell yeah, I let him beat him up. That little bitch. Oh, I hate Nathan so much. I really like Warren in it. Poor old Warren, poor friend-zoned Warren. So when he started just like laying out all his rage on him and kicking the crap out of him, yeah, not that I condone violence, but sometimes, you know, someone deserves it sometimes, and we know how horrible Nathan was. So Victoria did not believe my warning, which at the time frustrated me, because it was like, God damn it, girl, I'm trying to save your life. But she didn't believe me because of the freaking hair paint picture thing, I think, anyway. Understandable. And now the big one, the very, very big one. This one is what I have pretty much been thinking about all day. So like many people, when this option came up on the screen, I had to press pause and just put the controller down. Like, oh my God, what do I do? Instinctively, I did think to save Arcadia Bay, just because the game did such an amazing job of getting you attached to more than just the other main character, more than just Chloe, that I suddenly thought about everyone else was going to be wiped out, and it just didn't seem fair. And I was like, oh God, no, I can't let everyone else die. Then obviously I thought about it more, and it gets so complicated, because it's like, Chloe is someone that Max really cares about, and then you imagine yourself in that situation and what you would do if it was a bunch, like hundreds of people that you didn't really know or have much of a bond with, or someone that you cared very deeply for, and having to make that decision. It's heartbreaking. And also you spend the entire game effectively trying to save Chloe. Everything you do is ultimately to save her. So it kind of feels like it's almost wimping out at the end to go, oh, you know what, right. You're dead, I'm saving everyone else. It's like, this is what you have been fighting for the last however many hours, is to keep her alive. But this is my decision. So I went with my instinct and I saved Arcadia Bay. And this was my sort of reasoning for it. Oh, it's really hard though. you were to let Chloe live and sacrifice the town, what kind of life is that like afterwards? Chloe will know that the only reason she's alive is because hundreds of people died. That includes her mum and all of Max's friends and Warren, and all those people are dead so that Chloe can be alive. That's gonna mess up her life. She's already messed up because of what happened with her dad. You know, she's had such a traumatic time. To then continue her life knowing that all those other people are dead because of her, including her mum, just seems really cruel. Yeah, I mean, that was probably the driving force that made me feel like it's not right to do that. But then, so I made my decision. I chose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, and then in my playthrough, Max and Chloe have become quite close, and then they kiss. And Chloe says she loves her, and that made me feel even worse because they developed this romantic relationship, and it's like, oh God, you know, they're not even just best mates now, they love each other, and I've sacrificed her. So in my ending, yes, it's much more kind of like a conclusion. It's heartbreaking because you go back to the time where the very first time you saved Chloe's life, and of course you let her die, and it shows how the events of time would have gone, you know, if had Max not got involved. But with some slight changes, obviously Max knows that Jefferson's a complete and utter creep, so she gets him arrested and Nathan arrested, and Kate doesn't die, and it's much more kind of like, this is better. And I think, you know, she'll get Rachel kind of found and everything like that. So it's much more satisfying in that sense. It just ends on a heartbreaking scene of Chloe's funeral with this beautiful music playing by Foles, but then Max sees a little blue butterfly on the casket, and she sees a blue butterfly when she first goes to save Chloe. So it's kind of this inkling of, oh, that made me feel a bit kind of like a bit choked up thinking about that's kind of Chloe, the blue hair, like the little blue butterfly. Chloe's way of kind of being like, it's all good, it's fine. Oh, I'm all emotional now. But yeah, so let me know what decisions you made, what you thought about the game. I know I've prattled on and on, but this is going to be just a very chatty video. If you enjoyed this video, please do press the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Take care, play lots, and have fun.